The Council's decision. In a vast chamber adorned with shimmering crystals and floating holograms, representatives from various alien species convened for a crucial meeting. The atmosphere buzzed with tension as High Admiral Vrax of the Zenthari Alliance adjusted his ornate headdress, signaling the start of discussions about a growing threat in Sector 3-31, humanity. Order! Order! Vrax bellowed, his voice echoing off the walls. The room quieted as Supreme Counselor Lyra, a being composed entirely of luminescent gas, floated forward. We gather today to address the expansion of a species known as humans. A collective sigh rippled through the assembly. Commander Thrax of the Korath Empire scoffed, "Must we waste time discussing these primitive beings? They're still using fossil fuels for propulsion." The council erupted in laughter at Thrax's remark, but Lyra remained stoic. Despite their primitive technology, humans have established numerous colonies across their local cluster. Their growth rate is alarming. General Xylo of the Drakari Defense Force leaned forward, his scales glinting under the chamber lights. Their colonies are unsustainable. One solar storm could cripple them entirely. Vrax nodded thoughtfully. Indeed, but we cannot underestimate them. We must devise a strategy to contain their expansion before they become a true threat. A holographic display materialized in front of them, showcasing Earth and its colonies. Vrax manipulated the display with deft movements of his fingers. "I propose we disrupt their communication networks and isolate their colonies," he suggested confidently. "We can present them with terms of containment that they will have no choice but to accept." Thrax's eyes gleamed with approval. "They won't even see it coming. Their response time is laughable compared to ours." Lyra's gaseous form pulsed with concern. "Have you considered unexpected variables? These humans may surprise us." Vrax waved off her worries. "What could possibly go wrong? They're still figuring out how to travel faster than light." As laughter echoed through the chamber once more, none noticed a small warning light blinking on one of the auxiliary terminals. A message marked urgent from an observation post regarding human military veterans remained unread. Meanwhile, on Earth, Admiral Rhea Torres watched news reports about an alien fleet approaching their solar system from her command center in New Geneva. She frowned at the footage showing massive ships hovering ominously near Mars. "Admiral," her aide called out, "the Galactic Council has deemed our expansion a threat and is preparing for containment." Rhea leaned back in her chair, deep in thought. "Containment? They clearly underestimate us." She turned to her team. "We need to prepare for any eventuality." As preparations began on Earth, Vrax's fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. He stood proudly on his command deck, tentacles arranged in a victory formation. "Begin standard first contact protocols," he ordered with a smirk. The communications officer transmitted a message across all frequencies: "Attention human species. Your rapid expansion has been deemed threatening to galactic stability. We offer you protection under our benevolent guidance. Resistance would be inadvisable." 3 minutes later, an eternity by galactic standards, the response came through: "This is Admiral Rhea Torres of Earth Defense Force. We appreciate your offer but respectfully decline." Vrax blinked in confusion as laughter erupted around him from his crew members who had been monitoring human communications channels. "Did they just threaten us with citations?" Thrax asked incredulously. "Indeed," Rhea's voice continued over the comms. "Also, you're violating several traffic laws by parking your fleet in a commercial shipping lane." Vrax's face patches flickered with irritation as he realized this was not going as planned. He ordered his fleet into an intimidation formation designed to provoke fear among lesser species. "Sir," his Lieutenant Pip interjected nervously, "the humans are laughing at us." Suddenly, holographic images flooded their communications channels, memes comparing Vrax's intimidating formation to synchronized swimming competitions filled every screen. "Launch a warning shot." Vrax commanded angrily. As one of their destroyers fired a plasma bolt that missed Earth by thousands of kilometers, Admiral Torres responded quickly, "Congratulations. You've just won an all-expenses-paid visit from our missile defense grid." Before Vrax could comprehend what that meant, alarms blared across his flagship as hundreds of small missiles approached from concealed positions throughout the system, hidden inside what appeared to be advertising satellites. "This is impossible," Vrax shouted as chaos erupted around him. Meanwhile, back on Mars Colony 3, three retired military veterans gathered around a table in a dimly lit bar watching news coverage about the alien fleet's arrival with bemusement. Admiral James Rodriguez chuckled heartily at the screen displaying Vrax's pompous fleet formation. "Haven't seen anything that ridiculous since my days at Space Command." Beside him sat General Jiao Wei, the infamous ghost of Titans, snorting into her drink while Colonel Ayesha Sandstorm Patel leaned forward intently examining the live feed. "They're vulnerable," Ayesha remarked quietly as she adjusted her cybernetic eye for better clarity on screen. Rodriguez raised an eyebrow at her insight and nodded slowly. "Looks like it's time for some old-school tactics." As they plotted their next move against an enemy who underestimated them so greatly, Ayesha felt an old thrill surge within her. This battle was just beginning. The arrival of the fleet. The Proxima Collective's arrival. The Eternal Radiance, flagship of the Proxima Collective, glided silently through the void, its sleek form cutting through the darkness of space. High Admiral Zix stood at the helm, his bioluminescent face patches glowing with anticipation. He had orchestrated this moment meticulously, believing that humanity would cower before their might. The fleet, comprising 500 vessels, was a testament to their power and superiority. "Prepare for entry into the solar system," Zix commanded, his voice resonating with authority. The crew members moved swiftly, their appendages working in unison to ensure everything was in place. As they breached the outer edge of the solar system, a sense of triumph washed over Zix. "Let us show these primitive beings what true civilization looks like." Initial contact. The first contact protocol initiated with a flourish. Holographic displays flickered to life, showcasing Earth and its colonies. Zix's tentacles danced as he manipulated the display, highlighting key targets for their containment strategy. "We will disrupt their communications and isolate their colonies," he declared confidently. "They will have no choice but to accept our terms." As the message was broadcast across all frequencies, Zix watched with satisfaction as his crew prepared for what they believed would be an easy victory. "Attention human species," the message echoed through space. "Your rapid expansion has been deemed threatening to galactic stability. We come to offer you protection under our benevolent guidance. Resistance would be inadvisable." Human response. Back on Earth, Admiral Ria Torres received the transmission with a mix of disbelief and amusement. "Did they just threaten us?" she chuckled, gathering her team around the holographic display. "Let's respond with some humor." With a swift motion, Ria composed a reply that would catch the aliens off guard. "This is Admiral Ria Torres of the Earth Defense Force," she began. "We appreciate your offer but respectfully decline. Also, you're violating several traffic laws by parking your fleet in a commercial shipping lane." The room erupted in laughter as they imagined the aliens' confusion. 3 minutes passed, a long time in interstellar communications, before Zix's response came through again. "Traffic laws? Did they just threaten us with citations?" he asked incredulously. The humor escalates. As Zix struggled to comprehend human humor, Commander Quattro of the Centurion Defense Force couldn't contain his laughter. "They're treating us like we're some kind of joke," he exclaimed, shaking his appendages in disbelief. Just then, another message flooded in from Earth. "Additionally, your ship's running lights don't meet solar system safety regulations. That'll be another fine. Would you prefer to pay in credits or resource credits?" The alien command staff stared at each other in bewilderment. Their mighty armada was being treated like a poorly parked transport vessel. Enough of this nonsense. Zix shouted angrily. Deploy the class for intimidation formation. The intimidation formation. The fleet rearranged itself into a formation designed to provoke fear among lesser species, an arrangement that had worked on 37 other civilizations before this one. But instead of fear, laughter erupted across human communication channels as memes flooded in comparing the alien formation to synchronized swimming competitions. Look at this, one human broadcasted while showcasing an edited image of the fleet surrounded by sparkles and dramatic music. 9.5 for artistic impression. Zix's frustration mounted as he realized that instead of cowering in fear, humans were mocking them mercilessly. Launch a warning shot, he commanded desperately. The warning shot. A destroyer fired a plasma bolt that deliberately missed Earth by thousands of kilometers, a show of strength meant to intimidate. But instead of fear, Admiral Torres responded immediately, "Congratulations. You've just won an all-expenses-paid visit from our missile defense grid. Please remain stationary while we process your prize." Before Zix could comprehend what that meant, alarms blared throughout his flagship as hundreds of small missiles approached from concealed positions throughout the system, hidden inside what appeared to be advertising satellites. "This is impossible," he exclaimed as chaos erupted around him. A call for help. Meanwhile, on Mars Colony 3, three retired military veterans gathered around a table in a dimly lit bar watching news coverage about the alien fleet's arrival with bemusement. "Would you look at that formation?" Admiral James Rodriguez chuckled heartily at the screen displaying Vrax's pompous fleet formation. "Haven't seen anything that ridiculous since my days at Space Command." Beside him sat General Jiao Wei, the infamous ghost of Titans, snorting into her drink while Colonel Aisha Sandstorm Patel leaned forward intently examining the live feed. "They're vulnerable," Aisha remarked quietly as she adjusted her cybernetic eye for better clarity on screen. Rodriguez raised an eyebrow at her insight and nodded slowly. "Looks like it's time for some old-school tactics. Preparing for battle." As they plotted their next move against an enemy who underestimated them so greatly, Aisha felt an old thrill surge within her. This battle was just beginning. "We need to show them how we deal with unwanted visitors," Rodriguez said with determination in his voice. General Jiao raised her glass in agreement. "Let's remind them that we're not just primitives, we're humans." With laughter and camaraderie fueling their spirits, they began devising a plan that would turn the tables on their alien adversaries, a plan rooted not in advanced technology but in human ingenuity and creativity. As they prepared for battle against an enemy who thought they were nothing more than a joke, humanity's fearless legends were ready to rise once again. The call to arms. A gathering of legends. As the chaos unfolded in the solar system, the news of the alien fleet's arrival spread like wildfire. Across Earth and its colonies, retired military veterans felt a stirring in their hearts, a call to action that they couldn't ignore. In a dimly lit bar on Mars Colony 3, Admiral James Rodriguez, General Jiao Wei, and Colonel Aisha Sandstorm Patel gathered around a table, their faces illuminated by the flickering holographic display showing the ongoing battle. "Look at them," Rodriguez said, shaking his head in disbelief at the footage of the Proxima Collective's fleet struggling against civilian mining vessels. "They think they can just waltz in here and take over?" Jiao leaned back in her chair, her sharp eyes glinting with determination. "They have no idea who they're dealing with. We've faced worse than this before." Aisha nodded, her cybernetic eye whirring softly as it zoomed in on the frantic movements of the alien ships. "It's time we remind them that we're not just a bunch of primitives. We're humans." The call to action. The bar's communication system crackled to life, interrupting their conversation. "This is a general call to all retired command staff," Admiral Chen's voice echoed through the room. "Your expertise is requested. We need every hand we can get." Rodriguez stood up with a theatrical groan, a grin spreading across his weathered face. "Looks like the kids need some adult supervision," he said, his spirit rekindled by the prospect of battle. "Let's show them how we deal with unwanted visitors," Jiao added, her voice filled with resolve. As they exited the bar, the trio felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were no longer just spectators, they were legends ready to rise once again. Mobilizing forces. Meanwhile, on Earth, Admiral Torres was coordinating a response to the alien threat from her command center. She watched as retired military personnel began mobilizing across various colonies. The call had been heard loud and clear: humanity would not go down without a fight. "Get me all available ships," she ordered her staff. "We need to support our civilians out there." As news reports flooded in about civilian vessels successfully engaging the Proxima Collective's fleet using improvised tactics, Rhea felt a surge of pride. They're fighting back. This is our moment to shine. A diverse coalition. Across Mars Colony 3, Rodriguez, Jiao, and Aisha gathered veterans from different backgrounds, engineers, pilots, strategists, all eager to lend their skills to the fight. They formed an eclectic coalition that reflected humanity's resilience and creativity. "Each one of you has faced battles that would make even these aliens tremble," Rodriguez addressed the group as they assembled in a makeshift command center. "Today, we stand not just for ourselves but for every human being across our colonies." Jiao stepped forward, her voice steady and commanding. "We may not have advanced technology like they do, but we have something far more powerful: ingenuity and determination." Aisha gestured toward a holographic map displaying the current battle situation. "Let's utilize what we have: mining vessels, cargo haulers, anything that can be turned into a weapon." The plan takes shape. As ideas flowed freely among the veterans, Rodriguez outlined their strategy. "We'll use our civilian ships to create distractions while targeting key points in their formation." Jiao nodded enthusiastically. "And we'll coordinate our attacks based on their weaknesses. Those shields won't hold against our combined efforts." Aisha added with a smirk, "Let's give them something they'll never forget." With their plans solidified, the group dispersed to prepare for battle. Each veteran knew their role and was ready to reclaim their home from this unexpected invader. The spirit of humanity. Back on Earth and across its colonies, civilians rallied behind their military legends. News broadcasts showcased people gathering supplies and preparing makeshift defenses. Humanity was uniting against a common enemy. "Look at them!" Rhea exclaimed as she watched footage of families fortifying their homes and communities coming together in solidarity. "This is what makes us strong." As excitement built throughout the colonies, veterans took to their ships with renewed vigor. They were determined to defend their way of life and show the Proxima Collective that humanity would not be easily subdued. The first wave. With everything in place, Rodriguez led his team aboard an old mining vessel retrofitted for combat. As they prepared for launch, he looked around at his fellow veterans, each one a testament to humanity's spirit. "Let's show these aliens what we're made of," he shouted as they blasted off into space. The mining vessel joined others in formation as they approached the battlefield where chaos reigned supreme. The Proxima Collective was still struggling against civilian ships using unconventional tactics. "It's time for us to join the fray," Jiao said confidently as she took her position at the controls. As they engaged with enemy forces, Rodriguez felt an adrenaline rush unlike any other. The thrill of battle ignited within him once again. A new dawn. In that moment, humanity's fearless legends were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for each other and for every future generation that would inherit this world and beyond. With determination coursing through their veins and camaraderie binding them together, they soared into battle, a testament to human resilience against overwhelming odds. As missiles flew and lasers lit up space around them, one thing became clear: this fight was far from over, it had only just begun. The unexpected tactics. Chaos in space. As the battle raged on, the Proxima Collective found themselves in a chaotic whirlwind of unexpected tactics. High Admiral Zix stood on the bridge of the Eternal Radiance, his bioluminescent face patches flickering with frustration. "What is happening?" he bellowed, watching as civilian mining vessels executed maneuvers that defied all logic. "They're using their mining lasers against us." The holographic display showed the mining ships darting around like fireflies, their industrial lasers cutting through the alien shields with surprising ease. Zixa's tentacles twisted in agitation. These humans are not following any military protocol. They're acting like children playing a game. Human ingenuity. Meanwhile, aboard one of the mining vessels, Admiral James Rodriguez was reveling in the chaos. "Remember that trick we used in the Asteroid Belt Rebellion?" he shouted to his crew, his voice filled with excitement. "Let's show these folks how we deal with unwanted visitors." The crew cheered as they executed a series of unpredictable maneuvers, herding the alien ships toward a debris field left over from a recent asteroid collision. The Proxima Collective had underestimated humanity's ability to adapt and innovate under pressure. The swarm of bots. On another front, General Jiao Wei commanded a group of cargo haulers that had been retrofitted for combat. As they approached the alien fleet, Jiao's voice crackled over the comms. "Fun fact about human maintenance bots, they're programmed to fix anything they consider broken." With that, they opened their cargo bays and released thousands of tiny bots that swarmed toward the nearest alien vessel. The bots began cutting through hulls and repairing vital systems according to their programming, creating chaos among the Proxima ships. "Your ship's energy conduits look very broken to them." Jiao laughed as she watched the mayhem unfold on her display screen. Turning the tide. As more and more alien ships reported system malfunctions and random course changes due to the maintenance bot's interference, Zix felt his grip on the situation slipping away. "This is impossible," he shouted in disbelief. "Their tactics make no sense. There's no logic to their attack patterns." Lieutenant Pip nervously interjected, "Sir, I found some historical records about these human commanders you might want to see." The data scrolled across Zixa's display, revealing details about Rodriguez, Jiao, and Colonel Aisha Patel. Rodriguez is known for turning a fleet of garbage scows into commerce raiders during the Resource Wars, Pip read aloud. Jiao once defeated a superior force by hacking their navigation systems to display every asteroid as a potential threat. Zixa's frustration deepened as he realized that these humans were not just fighting, they were using their creativity and resourcefulness to turn everyday objects into weapons. Aisha's airborne assault. Meanwhile, Colonel Aisha Sandstorm Patel was leading a fleet of atmospheric shuttles that had been stripped down and modified for space combat. As she flew through the battlefield, her voice rang out over the comms. "You know what these aliens forgot to account for? Mars has dust storms that can last for months. We learned to fly blind centuries ago." Her shuttles executed maneuvers that confused the alien targeting systems, weaving through debris and friendly fire alike. They weren't trying to cause damage, instead, they were painting target locations with electromagnetic markers that turned the Proxima Collective's automated defense systems against each other. "Look at them." Aisha laughed as she watched an alien destroyer fire upon its own allies due to miscalculated targeting data. "They don't know what hit them." Reinforcements join in. As Rodriguez continued to rally retired military personnel from across the colonies, new reinforcements joined the fray. "This is Rodriguez," he broadcasted enthusiastically. "We've got more retirees joining the party. The Luna Golf Club is bringing their vacuum-adapted golf carts, and the Titan ice miners say they've got some interesting modifications for their pressure hoses." The laughter among his crew was infectious as they prepared for even more unconventional tactics. They were no longer just fighting against an alien invasion, they were showcasing humanity's unique ability to adapt and innovate. The Proxima Collective's dilemma. Back on the Eternal Radiance, Zix felt cornered. The battle was not going according to plan, every strategy he had devised was falling apart under the weight of human creativity and unpredictability. "Sir," Lieutenant Pip said hesitantly, the humans are using civilian ships because their commanders know how to turn anything into a weapon. Zix clenched his tentacles in frustration as he realized that this battle was unlike any he had faced before. Humanity was proving itself resilient and resourceful in ways he had never anticipated. A turning point. As chaos continued to unfold around him, Zix knew he had to regroup and rethink his strategy quickly. The humans were not just fighting back, they were thriving amidst adversity. "Prepare for an emergency meeting," Zix ordered sharply. "We need to devise a new plan before we lose everything." Meanwhile, Admiral Torres watched from her command center as humanity fought back against overwhelming odds with ingenuity and spirit. She felt a surge of pride as she saw her fellow humans rise up against an enemy that had underestimated them so gravely. "This is just the beginning," Rhea said confidently as she monitored communications from various fronts of battle. Humanity's legends had entered the fight, and they were ready to turn the tide against their invaders once and for all. The turning point. The climax of chaos. As the battle raged on, the Proxima Collective found themselves overwhelmed by the unexpected tactics employed by humanity. High Admiral Zix paced nervously on the bridge of the Eternal Radiance, his bioluminescent face patches flickering with agitation. "This is unacceptable," he shouted, glaring at his crew. "We are a superior species. How can we be losing to a bunch of mining vessels and cargo haulers?" Lieutenant Pip, his sensors twitching nervously, tried to calm him down. "Sir, we underestimated their ingenuity. They're using their civilian ships in ways we never anticipated. Their tactics are unconventional. Human ingenuity in action." Meanwhile, aboard one of the mining vessels, Admiral James Rodriguez was reveling in the chaos they had created. "Keep them moving," he shouted to his crew as they herded alien ships toward the debris field. "We need to trap them." The crew cheered as they executed their maneuvers with precision. The mining lasers, originally designed for cutting through asteroids, now sliced through the alien shields like butter. "Let's show them how we deal with unwanted visitors," Rodriguez exclaimed, his heart racing with adrenaline. Aisha's tactical brilliance. Colonel Aisha Sandstorm Patel was also making her mark on the battlefield. Her fleet of modified atmospheric shuttles darted through space, executing unpredictable maneuvers that left the Proxima Collective's targeting systems baffled. "They can't keep up with us," she laughed over the comms as her shuttles painted target locations for their automated defense systems. "Remember, we're not just fighting, we're outsmarting them." Aisha encouraged her pilots. With each successful maneuver, they turned the tide further in humanity's favor. Jiao's clever strategy. General Jiao Wei commanded a group of cargo haulers that had been repurposed for combat. As they released thousands of maintenance bots into the fray, chaos erupted among the alien vessels. "Fun fact about human maintenance bots," Jiao announced over the comms, her voice steady and confident. "They're programmed to fix anything they consider broken." The tiny bots swarmed over the alien ships, cutting through hulls and repairing vital systems according to their programming. The Proxima ships began reporting system malfunctions and random course changes as their own technology turned against them. Zix's frustration grows. Back on the Eternal Radiance, Zix felt his frustration boiling over. "How can this be happening?" he yelled at his crew. "We are supposed to be superior. These humans are nothing but primitives." Pip hesitated before speaking again. "Sir, perhaps we should reconsider our approach. They're not using military tactics because they don't need to, they're using what they have available." Zix clenched his tentacles in frustration as he realized that humanity was proving to be a formidable opponent, one that could not be easily dismissed. The unexpected reinforcements. As if to add insult to injury, Rodriguez received another transmission from Earth. "This is Rodriguez. We've got more retirees joining the party. The Luna Golf Club is bringing their vacuum-adapted golf carts and the Titan ice miners have some interesting modifications for their pressure hoses." The laughter among his crew was infectious as they prepared for even more unconventional tactics. They were no longer just fighting against an alien invasion, they were showcasing humanity's unique ability to adapt and innovate. The final push. With renewed energy and determination, Rodriguez rallied his forces for a final push against the Proxima Collective. "Let's finish this," he shouted, leading his mining vessel straight into the heart of the enemy formation. As they charged forward, Aisha and Jiao coordinated their attacks from above, providing cover fire and directing their bots to disrupt any remaining operational systems on enemy ships. "Keep moving. Don't let them regroup," Aisha urged her pilots as they executed daring maneuvers that left the aliens scrambling for control. The moment of truth. Finally, as chaos enveloped the battlefield, Zix realized that victory was slipping through his tentacles. His fleet was in disarray, reports of friendly fire and system failures flooded in from all sides. "Regroup! Regroup!" he shouted desperately, but it was too late, the damage had been done. Humanity's fearless legends had turned what was meant to be an easy conquest into a fight for survival. As Rodriguez led the charge into enemy territory, he felt a surge of hope wash over him. This battle was not just about winning, it was about proving that humanity would not be easily subdued. A new dawn for humanity. With each passing moment, it became clear that humanity had risen to meet this challenge head-on. The Proxima Collective was no longer facing a primitive species, they were facing a united front of ingenuity and resilience. As Zix watched his fleet crumble under pressure from these unexpected tactics, he knew that this battle would change everything, both for humanity and for his own kind. In that moment of realization, a new dawn emerged not just for Earth but for all those who dared to challenge fate itself, a testament to what can happen when fearless legends enter the fight.